What's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. So Trae Young has announced that he is going to be entering the NBA draft. We are going to listen to Max and also, I guess I don't know if Stephen A. Smith's going to talk now. I mean, I assume he probably would. 5 minutes, 51-second video about Trae Young entering the NBA and if he's ready for the pros yet or not. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on Trae Young, the Oklahoma superstar point guard, declaring for the 2018 NBA draft. Here we go, guys.
Max. Is leaving for the association the right move for Young?
No, I don't think it is. And I'm not speaking to anyone's financial situation or anyone giving up millions of dollars, guaranteed dollars. I understand that you sometimes have to take that deal, although I would say if you could take out an insurance policy that would pay the equivalent of your rookie contract, which you should be able to do, then, and by the way, you should somehow be able to finance that, right? I mean, if you can't make money as a college player, et cetera, then I would say absolutely stay in school. I don't think he's ready for the pros. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, the culture of the NBA is such that a high draft pick must start his career in the NBA. I don't know why that is. In baseball, you could be the #1 overall draft pick, and frequently you begin your career in the minor leagues, not the major leagues, where you get to develop. And were that the case, were the culture of the NBA the case, that Trae Young could
Bro, what's the music, man? What's the bitch-ass music going?
be drafted up high and still go to the G League and develop there and over a year or two and then go to the NBA, I would be for it. But that's not what's going to happen. He's going to be thrown to the wolves. Ask another Oklahoma product, Buddy Hield, how that goes. And Buddy Hield actually had years in college. Trae Young is good and promising, and I believe he would get better with development in college against players more on his own level. A couple of more years. I mean, we've just seen it in this previous draft. Why was Kyle Kuzma so good? You think Kyle Kuzma would have been good if he came out after his freshman year? Not only would the answer have been no, he may have never developed into this player. So I'm not talking about the idea of just passing up financial opportunity. I get it. If there's a way to somehow hedge your bet through an insurance policy or something, and there is, then I would suggest staying in college and developing. Because if you think it's tough to play in the backcourt in college, there's a lot of defensive focus in college. Do you know what it's going to be like in the NBA in a guard-driven league where that's where the defensive attention goes? It's going to be brutal, and I'm afraid that he won't be able to develop into the player that he should become one day, and I think that could be a very good player.
Max, sit back and listen to what I'm about to break down, because this is about to get very, very interesting. I have been on the record, Max, as you well know, talking about how I'm not really sold on Trae Young. I think this kid Sexton out of Alabama could do some things. I love Gary Trent Jr. out of Duke. I think he could do some things along with a couple of other cats. But I can't ignore 27-8. I can't ignore you leading the nation in scoring and assist. And more importantly than that, when Trae Young dropped 48 points on Oklahoma State, but took 39 shots to do it.
Damn.
As annoyed as I was at his selfishness, I was equally impressed by how he modified his game and became more of a better point guard, getting his teammates involved and all of that other stuff. So what I did over the last week or so, I went back and I watched several tapes of Trae Young's games. And I got to tell you something right now. He's taller than I thought he was because he looks so small out on the court. They say he's a legit 6'2". He's taller than I thought he was on the court. I'm looking at his broad shoulders. I've watched him get in the lane and finish shots at the basket. And I love what I'm seeing in terms of his ball handling skills. And the brother can pass too. And so now I'm saying, all right, what do you do here? Ayton, Bagley and these boys, that's a given. But as it pertains to guards, can I pass on this guy? And you know who I think about when I think about what will happen if you're passing him? I think about Steph Curry. You know why I think about Steph Curry?
That's a good point.
It's not just because I see Trae Young pulling up from three, even though against Rhode Island, even though he dropped 28, there was still a couple of ill-advised shots he took right past half court. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. But the bottom line is this. He has range. He can make shots. He can get to the lane and do his thing. But you know why I'm thinking about him? For the New York Knicks. Are you ready for this, Max? If you're the New York Knicks, hire Mark Jackson, like I said. The season ends April 11th. April 12th, Hornacek should be gone. By the end of tax season, April 15th, when your taxes are due, Mark Jackson should be the next head coach for the New York Knicks. And I felt that way before even thinking about Trae Young. But now that I'm thinking about Trae Young, it's even more important that the New York Knicks get Mark Jackson. Because when Steph Curry finally bursted onto the scene, who was his coach? This is before they won the title now. This is when they lost in the first round. They went to the semis one year in 2012, 2013, and 2013, 2014, I believe. They lost in the first round in Game 7 to the Clippers. I was at that game, all right? Steph Curry averaged 24 that season on 40, better than 47% shooting, better than 42% shooting from three-point range. It was his coming out season where he put the world on notice. He had arrived. And that was obviously the season before Steve Kerr got the job. Well, who was his coach? Who was the guy that spent 3 years developing Steph Curry?
Mark Jackson. Okay, so when it comes to Trae Young, my thoughts on him, guys, is simply this. The thing that is going to beat down Trae Young is the mental game. I feel like he's going to go into his rookie season and he has to have two mindsets. He has to go either with the mindset that, okay, I'm a rookie, I need to earn my stripes out here, I need to just focus on developing my game, or he's going to try to come into the league and be jacking up 30 points, or 30 shots a game, pissing off his teammates and things along those lines, and just losing confidence if the shots don't go in, because it's hard to get those shots up against NBA defense as opposed, to college players, guys that are not going to ever see an NBA court. So, I don't know, because I think Trae Young is going to have that same hype to his name that Lonzo Ball has. Of course, he's not going to have to deal with the antics of LeVar Ball, hopefully, unless there's like freaking LeVar Young or somebody out there. But yeah, so I just hope that, because NBA fans are going to roast this dude. Like, he's going to come to the league, man. If he averages 10 points and 5 assists, people are going to, and has trouble with defense or playmaking at times, high turnovers, bad shots, people are going to freaking be, roasting this dude. So he needs to come to the mindset saying that he's not going to be that superstar point guard right away. It definitely could happen. He's only going to be, 19, maybe 20 going into his rookie season. So, yeah, it definitely takes longer than that. I think the point of Kyle Kuzma was a great point in the sense that Kuzma would not have been that same type of player he's now in the Lakers if he would have freaking came into the NBA after his second or first college season. So, Trae Young, it's going to take time. I think he definitely will get there as long as he doesn't let the mental game get to him.